The economy, how to fix it. The economy is really simple when you know the fundamentals. In this video, you will learn how the economy should work and how the powers that be can fix it. The economy and human suffering. The cause of human suffering, if we restrict our viewpoint to the world of form, is our economy. Our economic system is the source of human suffering. Our economic system has led to an enormous number of problems in people's lives, and you could probably make your own list. This video will give you a common sense understanding of how the economy really works. You will know what the powers that be could do to turn around the economy. You will know how to end struggle, and you will know how to help the world in new ways. This information is so simple that it's really hard to believe. So just for now, could you set aside everything you've been taught about the economy? You may surprise yourself when you just go with simplicity and common sense. A healthy economy has one essential ingredient, and that's lots of people with money to buy stuff they want. When this is the case, lots of people make lots of stuff that people want, and everybody's doing quite well financially. There are two basic purposes for money. One is to empower the production and sales of stuff that people want, and the other is to store value for later use. Inflation is the placement of lots of money in the hands of governments, corporations, or people who don't buy stuff that lots of people want. There's lots of money and not much stuff that people want. A recession is a scarcity of stuff that people want, and a recession is a severely limited number of people who have money to buy what they want. The bottom line is that if not many people have money, then not much wanted stuff gets made, and you have a recession. Let's take a look at economic incentives. You can have either corporations or governments or lots of people with money to buy stuff, and this means some kind of stuff gets made. There are three basic kinds of incentives, and only one of them builds a healthy economy. There are three types of economic incentive. One is lots of people have money to buy stuff they want. Then stuff gets made, and this booms the economy. A second incentive is money is given, loaned, or provided to buy stuff that people don't want, and this is typically with banks or governments or insurance companies. And the third incentive, or lack thereof, is not much money to buy anything. There are two primary ways to create money. The first is the debt method, which we've been doing for quite some time, and that's loaning money into existence. This does not necessarily stimulate production and sales of stuff that people want. The ownership method, which we haven't done, is giving money to people equally. This always stimulates production and sales of stuff people want. Let's take a quick look at the impact that bank loans have on our economic system. You start out, you put money in the bank, and then the bank loans it to somebody else, and then later you want to get your money, and it's not always there. And there have been all kinds of attempts to solve this problem, and those solutions to that created worse problems, and it has crippled the world economy. It has a tremendous impact. So this practice needs to be totally phased out. Banks loaning out your money, that practice has to be phased out. There's lots of ways that banks can make money, and it doesn't have to be by loaning your money. Here's what the powers that be could do to skyrocket our economy if they chose to. Central banks, for example the Federal Reserve, should create money and give, not loan it to people equally. Now this would have to be done in cooperation with the federal government, to where the central bank gives it to the government, who gives it to the people. The result is lots of people with money to buy things they want. This means that more people would make more stuff that people want. And a second thing to do is to reduce the practice of loaning money into existence. We come to the question of how much money to create. If very few people have money, then very little gets made, because nobody's going to buy anything. If lots of people have huge amounts of money, then very little gets made. That's because a lot of people just won't work. So what we have to do is find something in between. So we gradually give economic stimulus payments to everyone and watch the economic indicators. How much stuff gets made and sold, and this is stuff that people want. The gold standard will not work anymore. As the population increases and production increases, we need more money to empower sales of stuff that people want. And also, a second reason, there's a disproportionate amount of gold in the hands of a few people and governments. A gold standard would empower the creation of either nothing, or it would empower the creation of stuff that most people don't want. Here's a solution to our mortgage crisis. This is a temporary solution. We lower interest rates to where they were when there was no problem, and we never change interest rates again. Eventually we can phase out bank loans altogether, but that's another topic. Okay, so then we implement the powers that be solution to get a healthy economy. We provide money to people so that they can buy things that they want, and people will make the things that people want. We can get a healthy economy then. So the result of all that is people will be able to pay their mortgages and banks will become stronger. That's what we want. We have to have stronger banks. Now we have to find a new way to support our governments. We have, first of all, stop the income tax. That's a real problem for almost everybody. And we replace this income tax with a national sales tax. Some very smart people have done a lot of research into this area, and you can find out more information at fairtax.org. It's very simple. It removes an enormous amount of stress from a lot of people, and it's very fair. There's one powerful thing we can do personally without having to change the world, and that's we can change things by simply observing them without judgment. This is very powerful, and it dissolves conflicts regarding the object of our observation. There are personal solutions we can do without having to change the entire world before we can become happy. One thing is to observe what's really happening. We can get others to observe what's really happening. Have them watch this video. And observing really does change things. You can do exercises to increase your creativity and your ability to do things. You can increase your tendency to manifest things you want. There's a ton of information and exercises available for that. You can let go of resistance to what's actually happening. At a fundamental level, resistance is a cause to suffering. And of course, the ultimate resistance is resistance to God. You'll find helpful exercises with all this at meditationvacations.com, systemsmystic.com, and almost all of the videos are there, but they're also, almost all of them are on youtube.com/Jim Kitzmiller. There are a lot of resources available to you. There's consciousness exercises, meditations, workshops, retreats of various kinds, coaching, corporate consulting. There's a book with bliss exercises, and there's a free creativity course. You might want to check it out.